Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 3rd of February 2020 to talk about, well, tonight's Monday Night Raw, as there's some pretty big developing news right now coming out of Monday Night Raw that we're trying to confirm that has not 100% been confirmed yet. So if I get a little distracted during this review, that's going to be why. If you're wondering, well, what's that news? Well, Mojo may have been the latest WWE superstar to get suspended for failing a drug test. Johnny Lee, we'll talk about that when we get there. But I'm still looking into it, looking to see what's going on exactly with Samoa Joe. According to WrestleVotes, let me pull up the WrestleVotes tweet. We'll just start with that. So let me pull up WrestleVotes on Twitter. WrestleVotes, go to his Twitter. Let's pull that up here. Let's make this full screen. I don't see why this is wanting to work. Let's just do this. All right, so WrestleVotes sent out a tweet. Now it's not going to want to load. There we go. We're here on the WrestleVotes Twitter account. And WrestleVotes sent out this. If we pull it up, let it load. And it says, let's zoom in on it so you guys can see it better. Word coming out of Raw is that more suspensions, there's an S there. There's an S there. I zoomed in way too much. There's an S there. Keep that in mind. Are coming. Must be something in that Southern California water, hint, hint. Working to confirm details. Think about this. He then sent out this. Okay, so that confirms maybe Samoa Joe. But hear me out here, ladies and gentlemen. There's an S here. Suspensions. Who was written off of TV tonight? Rey Mysterio. Was Rey Mysterio also popped for a wellness violation? That's the one no one's talking about. Look at the context clues, ladies and gentlemen. Suspensions, Southern California water. Both are technically Southern California. I know Los Angeles isn't the southern tip of California, but it's down there. And so, technically, LA, where Samoa Joe is from, Huntington Beach, is considered Southern California. Where Rey is from, in San Diego, is the southernmost part of California. Like, you go any more south and you're in Mexico. So could that mean that both Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio, who was written off of television tonight, who also took one of those 30 days and you're out DDTs on the concrete? Just saying. Looks like for sure confirmed with the with Joe from WrestleVotes here, but it also could possibly be Rey Mysterio if we do look into the whole multiple thing, because there's an S on that. Suspension with an S. So give me 1 second. I've got to do something really fast. Give me 2 more seconds, guys. Because you mean, like I said, Rey took that 30-day and you're out DDT on the concrete. So we'll look to confirm more. We'll look to see exactly what's going on. Could be even more than just Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio from what I'm hearing. But I'm not going to say any more because I don't know 100% more past that. More past what the WrestleVotes tweet did, I guess you could say, hint to and insinuate. So if we do have any more information on the possible suspensions coming out to maybe Samoa Joe, maybe Rey Mysterio, and maybe others, we'll have it for you right here on the PW Unlimited YouTube channel and over on our website, PWUnlimited.co. But we're here to talk about SmackDown. Let's see who's here with us in the live chat. We do have Henry Cavallo, Derek Bocek. Henry, I still want to call you Henry McKenna Cavallo because that's what your name was forever. So still getting used to just Henry Cavallo. Derek Bocek, like I stated. We've got Wayne Montgomery. We've got John Elite, Glenn Hunt, Jason Dalton, Sinclair Saturday, J Money, that's a new one. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Willie's Network, Dontrell Bailey, and so many more of you. Getting a good little turnout here tonight, a little more than normal so far. So with that, tonight's Monday Night Raw kicks off with Randy Orton. And before we get into that, I haven't gotten word as far as how the arena was as far as fans go, but the side that they kept showing all night was 100% completely packed. But there was a reason that they made sure not to show much more than that. The other half of the building could have been empty. Don't know. I know that it did stop snowing in time for people to get to the arena, so we'll see where it all goes. And if we get any pictures or hear anything about the attendance, I wouldn't look too much into it, because even if, and we'll talk about it here in this first segment, even if that crowd was only half there, you would have thought that that was like 20,000 people, the way that they were reacting to Drew McIntyre when he came out, to Randy Orton when he came out. Like, that was a amazing crowd. And if it wasn't for that crowd, the Randy Orton segment wouldn't have worked. So Randy Orton enters after a long recap of last week's angle with Edge. Tom Phillips said that Edge was at home beginning his road to recovery. And my thing is, if Edge goes down with one RKO after supposedly training for however many months to come back, if they do this match at WrestleMania, which we are hearing, that ultimately means that hear me out, if Edge is beating Orton, Orton can't hit a single RKO. Orton cannot hit one RKO, or Edge is just out. Now, I know what you're going to say, well, Randy also upped it with the concerto and stuff. True, but remember, he hit that RKO, and Edge was just dead with the shakes and everything. So, I don't know. Derek, you say no, it was the chair shot. But Edge was knocked out before the chair shot. If you think about it, he took that RKO and never even tried to get up. Never even attempted to muster up any strength to get back to his feet, or even to get up on his hands and knees. He took that RKO and he had the shakes, the shivers, the holy crap, I'm messed up after that move. But Randy comes out and the crowd is just going crazy. They cut Orton's music and the crowd is booing so loud. They say, "You suck." Randy goes to talk. They get louder. He stops. The announcers say maybe he's doubting himself from what he did last week. He stood on the middle ropes and did his usual pose. At least 10 minutes have passed and Orton hasn't said anything. The crowd boos even louder. We then get an Edge chant from the crowd here in Salt Lake City. Every time Orton goes to speak, they get even louder. Again, you would think there were 20,000 people in this building, which I doubt there was. Finally, Orton goes, I can't do this. Puts down the mic and leaves. If that crowd didn't react the way they did, that would not have worked. That would not have worked at all. If it was just a crowd where you hear like a couple boos, Boos. And Orton stalled. It wouldn't have worked, that segment. They had the perfect crowd. They took a gamble on it too, but they had the perfect crowd for that little Randy Orton segment there. I actually thought it was great. And I was talking to a friend earlier today about Randy Orton, and I said, there's two sides of Randy Orton. There's, I don't give a crap, I'm just going to go out there and do what they ask me, Randy Orton. And then there's, I'm excited on what they're giving me. I'm better than everybody, Randy Orton. Because when Randy Orton is happy with creative, and when Randy Orton is on, there's almost no one better than an on Randy Orton. Especially when he's an on Randy Orton that is a I don't give a fuck heel. Like he is, well, like we assume he might be right now. And I don't give a crap. Heel Randy Orton is almost the best thing in all of wrestling, in my opinion. Like, when Randy Orton was feuding with Triple H going into WrestleMania 25, that was my favorite thing in wrestling because of Randy Orton. So, they aired a replay of Drew McIntyre eliminating Brock Lesnar and winning the Royal Rumble. They then announced a triple threat match for later in the night with Ricochet, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley, where the winner would then move on to face Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia for the WWE Championship. We also learned that Kevin Owens will be teaming with the Viking Raiders to face Buddy Murphy and AOP in an elimination 6-man tag match. Give me 1 second, guys. So, the first match we get lasts a minute and 20 seconds. You think this is going to be a shit show. But for what happened after the match, it all worked out fine. It was Liv Morgan versus Lana. Morgan again had new ring gear. It said live forever written across the top. Morgan shoved Lana down. Lana feigned an injury long enough to bait Morgan. Morgan quickly recovered and hit a flatliner off the middle ropes for the easy pinfall. So it's like, okay, Liv Morgan wins 2 weeks in a row. Can we end it now? And we might be. Because Ruby Riott would make her long-awaited return to Monday Night Raw. Her music played, and Liv Morgan looked absolutely delighted. She came down with new green hair and green and black hair. Crowd chanted for Ruby. And of course, well, Liv wanted a hug. It's one of Liv's best friends. Not just on camera, but in real life. And instead, Ruby clotheslines her, knocks her out, give her a STO, hits her from behind, crowd boos. Lana then gives Morgan an X Factor as Ruby Riott leaves, and then Lana yells at her, "That was your karma. That's your karma." So, we'll see where this is leading to, but Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, there's history there, so it all makes a little sense. I can see the whole thing of maybe them doing, Ruby comes back and says, "You've changed, Liv. I got hurt. I had to have double shoulder surgery. And who was there for me at my lowest? Not you." I can see it being something like that, where Ruby says that she was at her lowest when she had to leave and have surgery. And Liv wasn't there for her. Liv wasn't there to be by her side, to help her through what she was going through. So I can see maybe that being the premise of a Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott story. And we'll see where it all does go next week on Raw. So then they showed some pictures of the snowy roads. And Saxton thanked the WWE Universe for showing up. He said, "Kudos for being passionate about all things WWE." Sure. Then saw Mojo in the ring. And they said after the break, Mojo will be facing Drew McIntyre. McIntyre came out after the commercial, grabbed a mic, and thanked the fans for fighting off this blizzard. Which I heard that by the time the show started, it wasn't blizzard-like weather anymore. McIntyre then talked about facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He then told Mojo, "When I put this microphone down, well, you got 3 seconds and I'm going to beat you with a Claymore." And so he talks for a minute or two more, maybe like a minute more. And he looks over and goes, "Oh, hey, I forgot how you were even here, Mojo. Let's go." So he puts the mic down. 1, 2, 3. Claymore. Mojo's out. Boom. Done. And that was it. Oh, also, McIntyre's got a new nickname. The Sexy Scotsman. That's what he called himself. I'm not lying. I didn't make that up. So the referee calls for the bell as Rawley put his... actually, no, I already read that. Rawley put his belt down. McIntyre hit him with the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Boom, we're good. Crowd was going nuts for Drew McIntyre. McIntyre may be the biggest babyface in all of WWE right now. So Charlie Caruso then interviewed Buddy Murphy in the AOP. AOP started to talk in whatever language they speak. And Murphy goes, "I got this, guys." But then Seth came up and says, "I got this." He was gleeful and encouraged them to go get ready for their match since it's next. He'll take the interview. Rollins reminded us that he's beaten Lesnar not once but twice. Not just beaten him, but beaten him for the belt. Where, when you really look at it, he's beaten Brock more than twice. Just twice in the last year. Because remember, 2015, he took the belt at WrestleMania. Then he beat him. And what was it? Battleground in the rematch? Something like that. He said that McIntyre may have to start prepping for somebody other than Brock, the Monday Night Messiah. So then we got a 6-man elimination tag with AOP and Buddy Murphy with Seth Rollins at ringside against Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders. Okay, sorry about that. They went to a break like 50 seconds to a minute into this match. Ivar took out Razor with a dive. Then Eric nailed Occam with a dive. Ivar missed a charge and crashed into the video boards on the side of the ring. On the other side of the ring, Rollins gave Eric a curb stomp. Then Murphy pinned Eric at the 8-ish minute mark. Following that, Owens and 2 referees checked on Ivar, who was quote-unquote injured and unable to finish the match. John Elliott, I'm talking about when I said that Seth beat Brock 2 times or more than twice. I'm talking about twice last year with the title on the line and twice in 2015 after he cashed in his Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31 to win the title. And then they had the rematch right after, and I want to say like Battleground or something. Anyways, back to the 6-man. So like I said, Ivar was quote-unquote injured. Take that how you may want to think. Think about guys getting injured recently and unable to finish the match. The Viking Warrior then left on his own power, and his partner left behind him after being pinned. Owens was at a 3-on-1 disadvantage. I'd come back from a break, and the heels are working over Owens, who attempted a few comebacks and kept getting cut off. Owens kicked Murphy's leg out from under him and spiked him with a DDT, but Occam caught him off again. Owens then knocked both AOP members off the apron, took out Occam with a cannonball, and sent Razor into the steps. Owens gave Murphy a super kick, then tried a senton. Murphy got his knees up. Owens kicked Murphy's... I read that sentence already. Owens then followed soon later with a pop-up powerbomb for a pinfall at the 19-20-minute mark. 20-second mark. 19-minute, 20-second mark. Occam worked over Owens after this, who suddenly nailed a stunner for an elimination about a minute later. So it was Razor left in. Razor missed a charge and went shoulder first to the post. Then Owens followed with a super kick and a cannonball and a senton for a near fall. The crowd was solely behind Owens at this point. Rollins hopped up on the apron, so Owens went after him like an idiot. This allowed Razor to catch him with a clothesline, followed up with consecutive spinebusters, and pinned Kevin Owens to pick up the victory for his team. The crowd was really good being behind Owens here, but the work in the ring, I thought the 6-man, the previous 6-man tags and the tag title match from last week I thought was a little better. So in the back, Ricochet is being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. He said the WWE Championship was always a dream of his. He said, since I was 14 years old, I wanted nothing more to be the champion. He said that I'm not the biggest or the strongest. I may not be able to go out there and show power against Lashley. I don't have a gang like Seth Rollins, but tonight means everything to me, and I'm going to have to show what I've got. That was all right. I got Aleister Black. Basically, he kneed Eric Young in the face, kicked him with a black mass, and beat him in about a minute. Minute and a half, maybe. Black then cut a weird promo afterwards. He said people should do and be whatever they choose to be. And when he's done making his way through the Raw roster, they would all know that they were defeated by a person who was told he could do and be whatever he wanted to be. I don't get what that was supposed to mean. It's like the whole, growing up, mommy and daddy said I can be anything I wanted. It's how it came off to me. Then replayed excuse me. They then replayed Humberto Carrillo taking out Andrade last week with the treacherous "you're gone for 30 days" DDT on the concrete. They then said that Andrade was quote unquote out indefinitely, which would explain his absence for the next 30 days. It's kind of funny that they have to pretend like he's hurt on television, but then you go to their corporate website, you go to their Twitter, and it literally says, Andrade, Manny, whatever his real name is, Manny something, suspended for violation of the wellness policy. So we know that he was suspended. WWE confirmed it, but they won't say it on daggum television. So we get Humberto comes out. He comes out for a match. And Zelina Vega comes out with her new hired gun, Angel Garza, Carrillo's real-life cousin. As she spoke, there was a great moment where Garza faked out a fan for a high five. Garza said that Carrillo must answer to him because he's the leader of the Garza family, and Humberto is nothing more than a disgrace. Humberto snatched the mic away, and the crowd chanted, "See, see, see, see," as Humberto yelled at them. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what he said. Commentary must have known because they were like, "Yeah, all right." Vega then slapped him. Garza then attacked him. He gave him a wing clipper, and Vega removed the black mats to expose the concrete floor below. He then set up Humberto for the DDT on the concrete when Rey Mysterio would run down to make the save, chasing off Angel Garza into the ring. We then got a 13-minute hell of a match. Rey Mysterio versus Angel Garza. Mysterio was getting the better of him until Garza ripped off the pants and chucked them at Mysterio as a distraction. Garza blocked a 619 and dropped Mysterio on the apron, which led to a commercial. After the break, Garza missed a moonsault, and Mysterio rolled him up for a 2, followed by a kick to the head for 2. Mysterio then soon followed this up with a DDT for another 2. As Mysterio ran the ropes, Garza grabbed him by the leg and hit a knee strike for a 2. Mysterio hit a Canadian Destroyer and went for a 619, but Vega pulled Garza from the ring. Mysterio followed this up with a dive. Vega yelled at Mysterio, and then Garza flew in with just a tremendous, amazing, beautiful, some may even say, super kick. It was a great super kick. Garza then launched him into the barricade and gave him a DDT on the exposed concrete. So, Rey may be gone out indefinitely for 30 days. Just saying. The ref called for the bell, presumably calling this a disqualification, I guess. They really didn't say. Garza smirked as the crowd booed. Excuse me. Mysterio. Officials came down and checked on Mysterio as Garza and Vega left. I thought Angel Garza came off like an absolute star. Like a perfect heel. Crowd hated him. Crowd booed him, as they should. But he came off like just a perfect heel, like a perfect superstar heel. Like not a WWE superstar, but a superstar heel. I just loved everything Angel Garza here tonight. And I hope this isn't like a once Andrade's back, he's back to NXT kind of thing. I hope maybe, I hope maybe Zelina's starting a little army. Maybe she gets somebody else. Maybe she recruits some more people. We'll see where it goes. I don't know any other Latino heels that she can recruit. Let me know in the comments if WWE has any other Latino heels on the roster, whether that's NXT or the main roster. Can't think of any others. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this. They then talked more about the inclement weather outside, and then Charlotte Flair came out. Charlotte said, I've held the Raw Women's Championship multiple times, and, well, I've beaten Becky Lynch. I've held the SmackDown Championship multiple times, and, well, I've beaten Bayley. Crowd then starts chanting Rhea Ripley, Rhea Ripley, Rhea Ripley. Charlotte stops and says, yeah, NXT, I do have love for NXT. And NXT has love for their queen. And as she says that, music hits right on cue. We don't see any graphics on the screen. So if you don't watch NXT or you don't pay attention to wrestlers' entrance themes, you're like, who is this? And the announcers even said it. Like not Jim Ross. Lawler was like, wait, what's happening? Who's this? And out would come NXT champion. Can't call her women's champion anymore. NXT champion Rhea Ripley. Crowd went absolutely bananas. Ripley says Charlotte may have beaten Lynch and Bayley, but she hasn't beaten her. She then says, and I quote, as a matter of fact, I've actually beaten you. Ripley says Charlotte could fight for any title at Mania, dropped the mic, and held up the NXT Championship. Crowd chanted yes. Charlotte smiled, almost in agreement, and left without an answer. But she still had the mic in her hand when she got out of the ring. So I'm like, ooh, she's going to say something. Ooh, she's going to say something. And she walks up to the top of the ramp. She stops and turns around. And Lawler goes, hold on. She's going to say something. And she just goes, woo! While Rhea Ripley's still holding up her belt. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania. The challenge has been made not by Charlotte, but by the champion herself. And I thought this was cool. I thought this was really, really cool. I love that the crowd knew who Rhea was enough to give her such a tremendous pop. Next up, we then got Asuka, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Asuka, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions against Natalya. Natalya wore a yellow and purple armband in honor of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna tonight. She also gave her headband to a very happy fan in the front row. Natalya early hit a sit-out powerbomb for a 2 and then tried a sharpshooter, but Asuka blocked it. Rolled to the outside, and we went to break. After the break, Asuka took over after a kick to the head. Asuka followed this up with yes kicks, but Natty ducked the last one and used a schoolboy for a 2. Asuka then kicked Natalya right in the jaw. Asuka tried a few submissions, but Natty countered, and they talked about how she's one of the last graduates of the Heart Dungeon. She's the only female graduate of the Heart Dungeon, and one of the big things that they teach you in the Heart Dungeon is countering submissions. So I loved that they brought that up on commentary because she countered a couple submissions here. Natty, then, like I said, countered each one and finally turned one into a guillotine, into an impressive-looking vertical suplex. They traded roll-ups and near falls. Natalya hit a discus clothesline. Natalya applied a sharpshooter, but Asuka made it to the ropes for a break. Natalya was then distracted by Kairi Sane. Asuka then applied the Asuka lock, and Natty, well, she had no choice but to tap out. I thought this was really good. Could have had it happen without the Kairi Sane, interference, but it all worked in the end. I thought both women worked really, really well together. And Natalya was the third babyface of the night to be distracted by somebody on the outside. Just saying. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to may have some more news on the suspensions. Let me look into this message I just got. It may actually be nothing, but give me 1 second. No. Okay, never mind. False alarm. Meep God says Mojo's been suspended. We can only assume as of right now, as we saw with the tweet from WrestleVotes, he thinks Mojo may have been suspended. He's pretty sure, it seems like. But, as I stated, nothing has been 100% confirmed yet. Give me 1 second, guys. My computer kind of just froze on me for a minute. The chat's still going, so I know everything's okay. But the browser I had my notes in froze. So let me pull my notes up on my phone. And we'll go on from there. So we had Kairi Sane and Kairi Sane and Asuka afterwards. Okay, after the match, Asuka calls out Becky Lynch. She wants another match for the title. Lynch comes out wearing some sunglasses. And Lynch said, beating Asuka at the Royal Rumble damn near gave her superpowers. And she said if Asuka thought that she wants to drink from that fountain again, she's damn right. Lynch said that she probably shouldn't risk her title so close to WrestleMania. But the only thing better than beating Asuka's ass once, well, is doing it a second time. Lynch then accepted. And then Kairi Sane would try to attack her from behind. Lynch tosses her out of the ring, and Lynch jokes about saying, Lee, look, I've got superpowers. I can see in the back of my head. I've got eyes in the back of my head. Lynch then saunters off, full of confidence. She came off like a big star here. Bigger than she's been in a while, to be honest. And I liked it. But now here's the question. When is this match happening? Is this match happening in Saudi Arabia? We know we can get a women's match there. Is this match happening in March at Elimination Chamber? Is this match just going to happen on Raw? Or are they going to drag this out all the way to WrestleMania? We've been hearing that it's Becky, Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania. So Becky does need something in the meantime to lead up to WrestleMania, whether that is at Super Showdown, on Raw, or in March at Elimination Chamber. Well, that was unfortunate. One of my extra pair of headphones just fell down. Anyways. Oh, wait. Never mind. It's happening next week. As you guys are letting me know in the chat, I'm looking into that right now. I missed that part. Because right after that, I was putting my kids to bed. So I must have missed when they announced that. I did see that they announced Goldberg will be on SmackDown this week. And Charlotte will be appearing on NXT this week to answer the challenge of Rhea Ripley. For some reason, I missed the announcement of Lynch and Asuka next week for the title. Huh. Okay. So then we have the main event. Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Ricochet. Winner moves on to challenge for the WWE Championship at Super Showdown. Now, I should mention this, that before they went with the plan to put Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, the plan was for Ricochet to challenge Brock Lesnar. It would be, the feeling of Ricochet challenging is A, it's somebody that Brock can just beat, but it's also somebody that they have a lot of confidence in getting a really good match out of Brock. Because we know Brock works amazing. Brock works tremendous with these smaller, faster guys. Hence, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. Those matches with Brock have been great. And a Ricochet match is not going to be any less, I don't think. So Rollins cut a pre-match promo congratulating his buddies on their win earlier. He also said that he would once again dethrone the Beast. He noted out that the crowd gave him much of a different reaction this time, though, than he did last year when he said and proclaimed the same thing. He said that he went on to defend the title across the world, and they crucified him for it. He thanked them for that, though, because he was proud of the man that he's become. He said he would defeat Lesnar again, and it wouldn't be for him, and it wouldn't be for them. It would be for the greater good, and it would be for something that people can remember for 100 years. He reiterated that McIntyre is not going to be facing Brock at Mania. He will be facing the Monday Night Messiah. So early on in this match, Ricochet wiped out both opponents with a dive. He went to the top, but was attacked by Murphy before the AOP would join in as well and attack Lashley. I guess this match is no DQ. Kevin Owens then came. Well, I guess, yeah. Triple threat matches are typically no DQ. Joe Decker, no calls tonight. So Kevin Owens would run down. His music would hit, and he decked Murphy. The Viking Raiders then jumped AOP. Actually, I think it was only Eric. I don't think Ivar came back out. Owens attacked with a chair, and they brawled through the crowd, leading to a commercial break. Back from the break, Lashley went to work on Rollins until Ricochet took him out with a high cross. Ricochet gave Rollins a standing shooting star, but Lashley broke up the cover with a spine buster, and then gave him a spine buster. Lawler didn't give Ricochet a fighting chance, he stated, and said that Ricochet looks like Brock Lesnar's skeleton. What a goddamn line. Brock Lesnar's skeleton. Okay, that's a new one. Rollins then gave Lashley a blockbuster, but Ricochet broke up a pin attempt. Rollins gave Ricochet a buckle bomb, but Ricochet came back with an enziguri. With all three guys fighting on the turnbuckle, they brought Rollins down with a double superplex. The impact sent Rollins out of the ring, and then Ricochet gave Lashley a 630 and picked up the victory. Ricochet is moving on to Super Showdown and challenge for the WWE Championship for the very first time. As soon as it ended, though, another major shocker, Brock was there. He literally sprinted. Like, I haven't seen Brock run this fast in a long time. Sprinted down to the aisle, jumped in, grabbed Ricochet, hit him with an F5, and the crowd went nuts. Because not a soul in the world expected Brock Lesnar to be in Salt Lake City tonight to show up in the last 90 seconds of this show. Maybe 60 seconds. It was not long at all. Yeah, but probably about 90 seconds. But Brock shows up. Brock hits his next challenger with an F5. Crowd at first goes wild. Then we hear a mixture of cheers and boos. And they promptly go off the air right at the top of the hour. Whew, I liked it. It was a very, very great surprise. Henry Cavallo in the chat says, can we please get rid of Lawler and bring back Vic Joseph as his replacement? Ain't going to happen. You're not going to have two play-by-play guys. You can have two color guys, but you're not going to have two play-by-play guys. And we've got Tom Phillips, who I love Tom Phillips on commentary, so please don't lose him. Vic Joseph was good. Really, really good. But I really, really liked Tom Phillips. With that, we do have a couple text messages here, if I can get them to load before we do wrap things up. Again, as of right now, preliminary word is that possibly Mojo, maybe Rey Mysterio, maybe others have failed a drug test, being suspended by the WWE, and we'll see where that leads to. Again, if we do hear anything further on these possible suspensions for wellness violations, we will have it right here on the PW Unlimited YouTube channel and our website, pwunlimited.co. This text message here does state, do you think Lana may break Kurt Hawkins' record for most losses in WWE? Highly doubt it. Highly doubt she's going to be wrestling that much. And this person states, Who do you think Goldberg is going to call out on SmackDown to face a Super Showdown? I have absolutely no clue. Because again, there's a lot of shockers and surprises tonight. And announcing Goldberg for SmackDown, I did not see that one coming at all. At all. So with that, going to wrap things up here for tonight. I want to say thank you guys for joining me here to talk about Monday Night Raw. We were just talking SmackDown, so it's still on my mind. I want to thank you guys for joining me to talk about Raw. Thank you guys for listening later right here on YouTube or listening on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and so much more. Got one last text message coming in. Actually got two. Let's read these last two before we do say goodnight. The person says, Nick and Tim, show tomorrow night. As far as I'm aware, yes, unless Nick has to work. As of right now, it is on the schedule. But again, there's been a lot of times recently where Nick gets called in last minute. And I tell him always, hey, that's your income. That's where your money comes to pay your bills. If you get called into work, go. So we'll see where it heads. So right now, yes. But if we don't get it in, I'll let you guys know. And this last person says, do you see McIntyre having a lengthy run or Brock Lesnar win it back quick? Well, I mean, that's assuming that McIntyre beats Brock at WrestleMania. I assume that McIntyre wins as well. So, if we're assuming that, which you know what assume means, if we're assuming that, then I say length. Well, how long is lengthy? Because to some people it's 5 months, 4 months. To some people it's 8 months. Lengthy is very subjective. But as far as Brock winning it back quick, probably not. But I do think that McIntyre does win at Mania and holds it for a little while. I'm just going to go that route. Holds it for a little while. We'll see where it all does lead to. But I do, if I'm predicting Mania right now, McIntyre ends the night WWE Champion. So with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about Friday Night SmackDown. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you later.